Welcome everyone to today's video. In our session today we're going to do a short practice which is still based on our theme this month, which is the theme of looking at this concept, a yogic concept of tapas. And as we've been explaining on this channel, tapas, simply put, is the effort or gentle discipline that is required in order to bear or handle some of the discomfort that may arise when we try to move ourselves or practice something that takes us in a new and perhaps more beneficial direction. So in our practice today, we are going to be using the container of breath and some gentle movement and some chanting in particular in order to try to draw our minds away from the things that they are normally attached to and give us an opportunity to simply be present in the breath, in the chant of Om, and in the movements that we're going to make. So if there's one key guidance I would love to share for this practice, is simply just try to be with what you are doing and let go of everything else. So with that said, please find a comfortable seat. You can sit on a mat, you can sit on a block or a cushion or a chair. It doesn't matter where you're seated, but do try to sit with a gently elevated and upright spine, and then slowly bring the backs of the hands onto your thighs or knees, and then just gently and slowly allow the eyes to close, and just see if you can start by consciously, intentionally letting go of whatever it is you've been doing so far today, and to let go of whatever it is that you may still have to do after this session. And just see if you can gradually find your way into noticing and becoming aware of the sensations in your body as they are right now. As I often say, try not to think the sensations. Try to feel, try to be with the sensations as they are without trying to change them, and gently letting go of the natural tendency to judge or to label the sensations. So just feeling them as they are. As we do this, we gradually allow our attention to migrate inwards rather than outwards, and perhaps we just begin to settle ever so slightly into this moment. As we move our attention a little bit deeper within, we may start to notice the movement of the breath within the body. So just slowly shift your attention a little bit deeper and begin to notice the way that your inhalations and exhalations feel in each moment. Without trying to change the breath in any way at all, just begin to notice the sensations that arise as you inhale, and notice how it feels in your body as you exhale. The breath now becomes the anchor of our awareness, the anchor of our attention. And with each passing breath, we just see if we can move more and more fully into connection with the feeling of the breath rising and releasing within the body. Then from here, we're slowly going to lengthen our breath. This should be something that we can try to practice that is still gentle, even though we are trying to expand the length of the breath. So from your next inhale, breathe in through the nose and allow the chest and the belly to expand fully. Then maybe pause at the top of your inhale just for a moment, and then slowly breathing out through the nose, releasing the chest, softening the belly, and pausing at the end of the exhale. So just continue to breathe in this way, long, smooth inhalations through the nose, feeling the front of the body expanding as you breathe in. After a pause, after the inhale, slowly breathing out again through the nose and releasing softly, allowing a feeling of the chest and the belly to just soften and move inwards ever so slightly, and resting in the pause after exhale just for a moment, no strain. So please continue to breathe at your own pace. That's always best, just to try to find your own pace of breath that works for you in this moment, and just notice what that feels like. Become attuned to anchoring your attention into the breath and trying not to fight with the breath. So when you feel that you've reached a kind of comfortable maximum on inhale or exhale, just don't try to push any further. Just be accepting of your capacity in this moment and continue to breathe in this way for maybe 2 or 3 more breaths. Be with the breath. Soften into the pauses. Let go of everything else. Be present with your practice. Final breath. And then slowly return to natural breathing, release from the lengthened breath pattern, and just observe once again. How is my breath when I let it go? Is there any tension in my body that could easily be let go of in this moment? And just take a moment here. So it's here that we're going to introduce the chant today of Om. And the purpose of the chant today is, one, to give us a vibratory anchor for our attention. 2 is also to conceive or think of the Om chant as a vibration which is taking us directly into connection with the peace that lies within our heart space. So as we chant, try to take in the vibration that you feel within the body, but also see if you can visualize this chant leading you into a place of peaceful presence in this moment. So in a moment, we're going to inhale, and then we're going to chant on the exhale, chanting Om together. And then I'll just leave some space for you to chant on your own a few times, and then we'll continue from there. So let's inhale together through the nose and chant. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhaling on your own and continuing maybe 3 or 4 more times, just observing the sound. After your next chant, just return to silence, relax the breath, perhaps notice the continued resonance of the chant within your body at this time. Rest your attention inwards. We're going to add a little bit of movement to combine with the chant. So in a moment, you can just watch, just so I can demonstrate. We're going to inhale, and as we inhale, we're just going to raise the arms up overhead very, very gently and bring the palms together like we're gathering energy in. And then on exhale, we're going to chant Om and bring the hands down to heart center. Om. Feeling of drawing the energy down, our attention down into the peace in the heart space. Let's do that together a few times. So inhale, arms out from the side and up. Bring the palms together and chant, hands come down. Om. Inhale, arms go high. Gathering as we raise the arms up overhead and chanting. Om. Inhale. Twice more. And last time. Take a moment to be still with the hands at heart center. Soften the breath and soften the body. And place one hand on the heart space and the other hand on top of that hand, and just gently drop the head down with the eyes closed. And just visualize and feel into your connection with that space in the center of the chest, the heart space, the location of the peace beyond thought, beyond the mind, beyond our attachments. Just feel the connection of your hands to that space. Sit gently in connection with that stillness, and if that is not your experience at the moment, if you don't feel peaceful after the practice, that is okay. Each of us are individuals. Each of us are at different stages and places in our practice and in our lives. But whatever you experience in this moment, just see if for a few moments you can sit comfortably observing that which is arising without reaction. Just trying to gradually develop the ability to sit and witness and observe without reactivity as we come to know ourselves more fully and more deeply. Then from here, we can bring the hands together once again in front of the heart space, signifying that symbolic connection back into that peace or shanti that lies within. And we finish by offering gratitude for sharing this practice today, and offering gratitude for being able to take this time in our days to guide ourselves, to orient ourselves towards shanti, towards peace. And from here, we can slowly bring the hands back down onto our knees or thighs. And then we can gently open our eyes and return. So thank you for joining me in this short practice. Hopefully the practice at least allowed you to slow down, to take a moment to drop inwards, and to remember one of the things I said just towards the end of the practice today, which is that each of us are completely unique. And yoga in its fullest sense absolutely honors our individuality and our uniqueness. That is why it is completely understandable, acceptable, and completely likely that each one of us will have a completely different reaction or response to these types of practices. There is not one response that is good or one response that is bad. It is simply an opportunity for us to come to know ourselves better, to know whether these types of practices are things that work for us at this stage, or whether they are things that perhaps we need to focus on further down the line. It is for us to know, perhaps also with the guidance of a teacher that can help us over time. But please, at no time think that just because something doesn't feel a way that you think it should do, that somehow your practice is not of benefit or it's not taking you somewhere. In fact, the deepest practice of all, as we mentioned briefly in today's session, is sitting deep within and being able to observe everything that comes by without getting dragged away by it, without becoming entranced by it, without becoming reactive to it. Because then when we sit and we observe in this way, then we truly begin to understand ourselves. We get this prajna, this insight, this knowledge into our true nature. And as a result of that, we begin to grow and evolve. So thank you as always for joining, and I hope to see you again very soon. Namaste.